Hello, my name is Eugenia Oganova. I wrote a book that's called Mission Alpha, The Wise and Passionate You. Right now I'd like to talk about the boundaries, which is one of the chapters in my book. Boundary is very important because if we don't have a healthy boundary, we get overwhelmed, we get easily overloaded by everything that's going on around us, and we get lost. If we're lost, we can't really create in our life what we want and we don't feel good. So without a healthy boundary, feeling good is practically not possible. Never mind feeling safe. Safety is, of course, dependent on being inside a healthy boundary. So there are two types of boundaries. One type is the natural one. That's the one that we all would like to have. This is how we were designed. And then another type is the artificial one. Artificial boundary is the boundary that we unfortunately end up with most of the time. So the goal here is to recognize when we are not in a natural boundary, when we are in the artificial one, and be able to shift back into a balanced state of a natural boundary, so we don't get stuck in the artificial one. So let me clarify a little bit. The natural boundary is based on the flow of energy that happens vertically through our body, up and down, like a pump. There is a vertical tube of energy that goes through our body, rotating chakra on the top and rotating chakra on the bottom like a root that goes into the ground. And there's a flow of energy that happens through that vertical tube. When that flow is stable and strong, we generate centrifugal force around, and that becomes our natural boundary. This is our original design. That boundary is like a porous membrane. It's supposed to take in life, and we can express ourselves through it. It is allowing us to interact with life directly, yet it defines who we are by giving us a container. The good news about this boundary is that we don't have to use any of our own energy to maintain it. This is an ingenious component of our design. That boundary is maintained by the universal life force for us. We don't have to do anything except open up enough to run this flow up and down. When we do that, the boundary naturally occurs because of our original design, and universal life force runs through our system and maintains this porous membrane around us. In other words, all our energy that we have inside our system is available to us to create with in our life whatever we desire. Now, artificial boundary, the one that unfortunately we end up with, is more like a protective shielding. It's based on the concept that we have to separate from the world and define ourselves in opposition to something. And it looks like a fortress, like a shielding around us. Now, to use this, to create this boundary and to utilize it, we have to use our own energy, not the universal one. So we take some amount of our own energy and we allocate it into this artificial shielding in order to maintain it. The problem with that, of course, is that our safety gets determined by the outside circumstances, which is not how it's designed. Safety is truly a state that is internal and that connects to this vertical flow up and down through our system, which means that we are supported by the universe. When we're in that state, which is the natural boundary, we don't have a problem because we feel safe naturally. Whatever happens around us, we can handle. But when we go into the energy that is artificial boundary, we end up getting stuck in having to protect ourselves from life. So our safety is now dependent on external circumstance. If whatever's happening around us happens to not challenge us, then we feel fine, we feel safe and strong. But as soon as something happens on the outside that bumps into the shielding that we created around us and challenges it, we get scared and we try to push harder and harder and put even more of our energy into this artificial boundary in order to feel safe. And that never works. So in the end, we just run out of energy. And then, of course, there is nothing left to create with. So when you notice that you're defending against life, when you notice that you're scared and you're looking for protection to try to separate yourself from something else, that already means that you are in artificial boundary. That can never work. No matter to what extreme we take this protectiveness, it does not work. It never would make us feel safe because it goes against the original design. So in this moment, you need to take a breath, return to yourself, and tune into this vertical flow of energy. Imagine it like a tube, and see if you can pour energy into yourself and let it trickle down through your system, or pull it in from the underneath of you and let it go up. So then you generate this flow up and down. The more you do that, the more safe you're going to become, not because the external circumstance that was scaring you changed. It might be the same, but you would feel different inside it, because you have switched from the artificial boundary of protection into the natural boundary of this force field that's around you. So you naturally end up feeling safe. From that standpoint, you can handle any circumstance that was challenging. So this hopefully was what you can use in your life. This information is in my book, which is Mission Alpha, The Wise and Passionate You. You can purchase this book on Amazon.com by typing in my name, Eugenia Oganova. And there's also a website, which is www.energypulsesource.com. On that website, we have all sorts of information from this book and different workshops, including some downloadable ones so you can practice at home. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.